Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurave Sarvalokanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Nidhaye Sarvavidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Shruti Smriti Purana Alayam Garunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Sakshat Kritam Dayanandam Paramarthaswarupinam Tattvajnana Prashastaram Natosmi Param Padam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastamavidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Natva Shri Bharati Tirtha
Natva Shri
Bharati
Vidyaranya
Vidyaranyamunishwarao
Adhimahe Panchadashim
Adhimahe Panchadashim
Kaivalya Padasiddhaye
Kaivalyapadasiddhaye.
Now the second chapter of the Panchadasi is started. Panchadasha Prakaranasya Ditiya Prakaranam Mahabhuta Viveka Prakaranam. Every chapter of this text, Panchadashi, can be looked upon as a separate grantha, book. Each chapter is a book. The entire vision of Vedanta presented by any Prakarana Grantha is presented by the very first Prakaranam, Tattva Viveka Prakaranam. What we studied in Tattva Bodha, its entire thing is covered in the first chapter itself. In fact, more than that. with a lot of drishtantas and elaborations. In 65 shlokas, the topic of Vedanta is presented. And in the second chapter, second prakaranam, Mahabhuta Viveka Prakaranam, this also is a separate chapter. So it can be taken independently and studied. Any chapter from Panchadasi can be taken independently and studied. Because every chapter is complete by itself. Some people, they study the 7th chapter, some study 8th chapter. Puja Swamiji used to take the Natya Deepa Prakaranam, that particular chapter. Because every chapter is independent and it is complete. So now the second chapter, this is also Viveka Prakaranam. The first chapter, Tattva Viveka Prakaranam. And this chapter, Mahabhuta, Pancha Mahabhuta Viveka Prakaranam. So Viveka is common. Viveka is Viveka Jnanam. Yeah, Viveka, you have to take the meaning in this context. Pancha Bhuta Viveka is Pancha Bhuta have to be separated, from Sat, from Brahma, and Brahma to be understood as it is. Because there is a mix-up. There is a mix-up between Atma and Anatma. Here, instead of using the word Anatma, the author uses the word Pancha Mahabhuta. So mix-up of Atma and Anatma. Chit Jada Granthi. That is what we say. Chit Jada Granthi. Chit Chaitanyam. Jada Anatma. So there is a mix-up. Granthi. That which cannot be mixed up is mixed up. It is impossible to mix up Chit with Jada or Jada with Chit. Chit is the Adhara. Adhara Chaitanyam. Chit is Chaitanyam, which is Adhara. And this Anatma, Prapancha, or other words, we can refer to the Prapancha by Mahabhuta. It's made of Mahabhuta from 5 elements, then elementals. So entire Srishti is nothing but can be reduced to the basic 5 elements. So this Pancha Mahabhuta or Adhyastam on the Adhara Adhishtana Chaitanyam. And it is Adhyastam and it is so intensely mixed up like the rope and the snake. Can rope and snake be mixed up? Rope is rope, snake is snake. Two things, you cannot make it mix up and make it one. Rope is rope, snake is snake. They cannot be made one. But it is made one notionally because of Ajnanam. It is notional. And that is Ajnanam. Because it is mistakenly, wrongly mixed up. Therefore, we need to separate. That is the meaning of the word Viveka. Out of this Viveka, we get the Jnanam. That is Viveka Jnanam. Jnanam of the Tattva. That is Tattva Viveka. It is Tattva Viveka is all the way. Tattva Viveka is all the way. Here, we are doing the separation of the Anatma, Panchabhutani, Anatma from Atma, from Sat. So Viveka is done. Viveka meaning distinctly knowing the two different, entirely different things, which seems to be mixed up. We cannot say it is mixed up. They seem to be mixed up. If it is really mixed up, then you cannot separate. If milk and water are mixed, if milk is mixed with water, it becomes one. You cannot separate it. You have to call only Annapakshi, Amsapakshi. So they cannot be separated. If it is really mixable, visible, then you cannot separate. But it is not real. It is not real. Therefore, it can be separated in terms of understanding. So therefore, that is what is done here, Viveka. In the first chapter, we saw that Viveka was done to distinctly understand Atma and the object of knowledge. Between Atma and the object of knowledge, there is a mix-up. Between Atma and the object of knowledge. Therefore, we use the Prakriya, Avasthatraya Prakriya, Panchakosha Viveka Prakriya. By that, we distinguished Chaitanyam and the object of knowledge. Chaitanyam is one. Ekaha, Atma, Eka, Sambhita, Eka, Swayam Prabha. That is one, and that alone is obtained in all the states, all the avastha. Jagrata avastha, Swapna avastha, Sushupti avastha. And Chaitanya Atma, it is mixed up. And therefore, it gets different names, Prajnaha, Taijasaha, Vishvaha, iti. There we applied the Viveka, that is, we apply the Viveka Vichir. Viveka is one of the Dhatu Vichir, distinctly, Pratakkaranam. We did the Pratakkaranam. Pratakkaranam of Atma from the object of knowledge. The Atma which is mixed up and recognized as other than itself in all the states. So by Viveka, it is distinctly understood. So that Viveka is done. Viveka is done, Atma and the object of knowledge. So as it is done there, similarly here also. Here we are doing the Viveka. Brahma Sat, it is mixed up with Namarupa. Brahma Sat is mixed with Namarupa. Namarupa is nothing but elements and elementals. Panchabhuta. Bhutani, Panchamahabhutani elements. Panchabhutani, Panchabhutebhyaha. Panchabhutebhyaha, from these 5 elements, we get Bhautika, Bhautika Srishti, Panchabhautika Srishti, this Prapancha. So elements and elementals. So we are going to distinctly understand Brahma, that is Sat, by separating this, by separating the elements, the Panchamahabhutani. So therefore this chapter is called Mahabhuta. Mahabhuta, Tanmatras. Panchamahabhuta, Mahabhuta. Magat, Maganti. Bhutani. Magat Bhutani. Magat Bhuta, Magat Bhutani. They are great elements. So, Bhutani. So, therefore, we are going to do the Viveka, the separation of the Pancha Mahabhuta from Brahma, the Sat, to know Brahma. It is not to know Mahabhuta. Mahabhuta is Anatma, it is Mityadi Jada. What do we get by knowing Pancha Mahabhuta? Already we know. It is known, it is our perception. it is available all the time for our perception. So knowing that doesn't make us free. We know it. So we don't have to separate from Sat to know Panchamahabhuta. It is known. Therefore, separating them from Sat is in order to know Sat as it is. So that is what we are going to do in this Viveka Prakaranam. For this Prakaranam, for this chapter, the Chandogya Upanishad, 6th chapter, second section, first mantra, 6 to 1, the mantra, important mantra. It's a beautiful mantra. That mantra is taken. The mantra is taken and it is elaborated. So this chapter, in fact, every chapter, not only this chapter, not in the previous chapter, but in the upcoming chapters, you will see an Upanishad mantra will be taken and it will be discussed, elaborated. Every word of the mantra will be discussed. So here also that mantra, which is there is Chandogya Upanishad 6 to 1. Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asit. That mantra, Ekameva Dvidiyam. That mantra is taken. Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asit. Ekameva Dvidiyam. Chandogya Upanishad has got 8 chapters. Generally, in the Gurukulam, we study only the 6th chapter because that is the main chapter where the Mahavagya is expounded elaborately. And that is a chapter, in fact, where you can see the Shad Linga. It is, in fact, the chapter is taken as a reference for knowing the Shad Linga, applying the Shad Linga, knowing the Tatparya. Whenever the topic of Shad Linga comes, the 6th chapter is given as an instance. The first 5 chapters of the Chandogya Upanishad deals with Upasana, Saguna Brahma Upasana. Saguna Brahma Upasana. Upasana is important. It is not that first 5 chapters are not relevant because that alone makes a person an adhikari. If a person is not an adhikari, jnanam is not possible. Jnana may be there, but that jnana will be a pratibadda jnana. It will not be a jnanam which is apratibadda, by which a person enjoys freedom. So it will be pratibadda jnana. Adhikaritvam not there, then it will just be a knowledge. So therefore, for that, the yoga, upasana, are all important. The first 5 chapters deals with Saguna Brahma Upasana. 5 chapters dedicated for Upasana. The means are important. The means have to be adopted, keeping in mind the end. The end is Jnanam. The 6th chapter is the chapter where the Vidya, Sadvidya is dealt with. In fact, that is called Sadvidya Prakaranam. Sadvidya chapter is called Sadvidya. Sadvidya Nanda, Swami also is Sadvidya. Sadvidya is Brahma Vidya. Brahmanaha Vidya, Brahma Vidya. Sadvidya, Sataha Vidya, Sadvidya. Vidya, the knowledge of Sat, the knowledge of Brahma. The knowledge for which the subject matter is Brahma, Sat, Sadvidya. So there the truth is revealed in the form of Sat, Sat Brahma. It is called Sadvidya Prakaranam, 6th chapter. And in the 7th chapter, there is Bhuma Vidya Prakaranam. And 8th chapter is Prajapati Vidya Prakaranam. 8 chapters are there. As I told, the 6th chapter is a very clean model for the Tatparya Nishchaya. For Tatparya Nishchaya, we use the Shadlinga, Upakrama Upasamhara. Upakrama is introduction. Upasamhara is conclusion. So first you have to introduce a subject matter. introduction, and what is introduced have to be concluded at the end. What is introduced should be concluded. So, upakramopasamharaha, abhyaso purvatha phalam, arthavadopapattischa, lingam, tatparya nirnaye. The 6 lingas, upakrama, introduction, at the end it is some upasamhara, then abhyasa. Abhyasa is repetition. So for that linga, this chapter is a model, because Tattvamasi Shvetaketo, it's repeated 9 times. Abhyasa means repetition. When something is repeated, it's not a dosha, punarukti dosha. In the Laukika, it is a dosha. When you repeat the same thing, it is a dosha. People also will get irritated if you tell the same thing 100 times. But not in the Shastra. It is not a dosha. It is not a punarukti. There is no punarukti dosha. The Mahavakya is repeated because it should be understood. You should not just gloss over and move on. It is important. The importance of that should be understood. Therefore, it is repeated because we are forgetful. Because we are naturally forgetful. Therefore, Upanishad remains again and again by repeating the statement Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi iti. So, for that linga abhyasa, not only for that, for all the lingas of the Shad linga, for determining the Tatparya, 6th chapter is a wonderful model. Shad linga meaning 6 indicatory marks, 6 indicatory lakshanam, characteristics. These are adopted to arrive at the Tatparyam of a Shastra. So for that 6th chapter is a very good example. So therefore, it's very clear in the 6th chapter that the Tatparya is Brahma. Tattvamasi Shvetaketo, Tattvam Asi, the Mahavakya. The Acharya teaches a student, Shvetaketu. And that the Acharya happens to be the father itself. Shvetaketu, the son, was taught by the Acharya, that is his father, Uddhalaka. So Uddhalaka, Shvetaketu Sambhada Rupena Vartate, that dialogue, the teaching. So in that chapter, Tattvamasi Mahavakya is important. That Vakya is not taken here. Here, what is taken? Sadeva Somvedam Asit Ekameva Dvitiyam. That Vakyam is taken and it is going to be dealt with elaborately. So, therefore, here the Sat Brahma is distinguished, it's going to be distinguished distinctly from Anatma. As I told, they cannot be mixed up, but seems to be mixed up. That is what samsara is. Samsara is not real, it is notional. Therefore, only it is subject to removal. It can be removed. Otherwise, if it is really mixed up, then samsara cannot be removed. You cannot become free. Freedom, the possibility is there. Therefore, it cannot be the real mix-up. The clay and the pot. The clay and the pot. First we say clay and the pot. In the pot, 2 things are there. Two things are there. Even when we say a pot, when we say just a pot is a nama and rupa, a name and form. Pot. Name and form given to what? It was clay before. Clay was existent before. It is existent now also. It was in the form of clay. The clay was there, and the clay existed. Clay exists, and now pot exists. Previously, clay existed. Now also clay is there, but now it has become the Namarupa is given to them, given to the clay, and now the pot exists. So now what is this pot? The existence, the astitvam of clay is all the way, it is all the way, it is there in the pot also. So the pot is nothing but existence plus Namarupa. Clay also is a Namarupa only. Clay also, it is clay. It is also got Namarupa. But that Rupa is not for any purpose. There is no utility. It has got some form, any form, lump of clay, a lump, a form, a irregular form. It give a regular form, a symmetrical form. It has got utility, like pot, etc. As clay, it has got a form. But what is that clay? Clay also existence plus Namarupa. That is clay. In the pot also, the same thing, existence plus Namarupa. The pot is the pot is the pot is there. We say that's why pot is. The pot is, the pot exists. So pot exists when we say. So that pot exists, the existence that is Sat. The Sat plus the Namarupa, that alone makes the pot. So we say pot exists. The existence which is there in clay, which is there in pot, in the pot, that existence now, it is qualified by the pot. That is, the pot becomes a Visheshana and the existence becomes Visheshya. The existence is substantive and the pot is adjective. We say the pot exists, existent pot. Pot exists, existent pot. That existent pot, in that pot is substantive. Existent is adjective. So the existence is qualified. The existence is qualified by what? Qualified by pot. Therefore, existence pot, in fact, that is wrong. How can you qualify the pot by existence? So when you say existent pot, then pot is Satya, then existent is as though something which qualifies a pot. It is something like rose flower. Flower is there. The flower is qualified by the color rose. Blue fragrant lily. Blue fragrant lily. Lily is there, which is blue in color. It's an attribute. It's a property, and it is fragrant. Another attribute. All these are qualifiers, and the qualified is lily. The flower is rose. The qualifier is the color, the rose flower. Similarly, the existent pot, when you say the pot is qualified, and the qualifier is existent. If you say existent pot, then what about in the clay? Clay also existent clay. So in the clay also existence is there, existent clay. In the pot also existent pot is there. Before clay, it was in the form of particles, powder. It was existent powder. Before powder, it was existent molecules. Before that, it was existent atoms. So we can go all the way existent. If existence is there in and through, then how can that existence be put as an adjective? How can you use the phrase existent pot? It is wrong. You don't say flowery rose. Flowery rose means rose becomes the adjective and flower becomes rose becomes a substantive and flowery becomes the adjective. Flowery rose, but we don't use the word flowery rose. Flowery rose. That that rose is adjective. The rose is adjective, and therefore rose flower. Flower is substantive. Without flower, without the substantive, the flower, how can the attribute rose exist? The color is sticking to the flower. Therefore, the rose is adjective. Blue lily, blue fragrant lily. The blue, the color is sticking to the flower. The blue, the color is sticking to the flower. So flower is substantive. On that only the blue is the blueness. That's why blueness, the blue is attribute. Similarly, fragrant. How can the fragrant be existent apart from the lily? So they are attributes. So attributes are adjectives. So adjectives are used before substantive. Therefore, rose flower. Therefore, fragrant blue, fragrant lily. Similarly, existent pot, if you say, the phrase is wrong. Existent is there all the way from the God's particle to atoms to molecules to powder and to clay and up to pot. That is there all the way. It is the adhara, adhisthana. And that alone is qualified by atoms, God's particle, atoms, molecules, powder. It is clay and then pot. Therefore, it should be really speaking potty existence. The existence being there all the time, existence is not adjective. It is not sticking to the pot. In fact, pot is sticking to existence. So it is all the way existence. Therefore, if existence is substantive, then it should be what? It should be potty existence. It should be clayey existence. It should be powdery existence. It should be molecular, I don't know what adjective can be given for molecule. That existence. So it is potty existence. The existence is qualified by the Namarupa, the attributes, they are the Visheshana, and the Vishesha is existence. Vishesha doesn't change. Vishesha is there all the way. The Visheshanas are imposed, superimposed, adhyastha on the Vishesha existence. Therefore, it is potty existence. It is clothy existence. It is woody existence. Woody existence. Chair is chary existence. Chair is nothing but made of wood. So chair exists. On the existence, the chair is superimposed. And the existence was in the form of wood before. And the wood is converted into chair. Now wood is not there. It is in the form of a chair. But what was existence before? Wood exists. Now it is chair exists. On the existence, chair is superimposed. It is chary existence. It is clothy existence. So therefore, the existence is qualified by all these Visheshanas, and these Visheshanas are a Satyam or the Mithya. If it is Satyam, then both Satyam cannot be together. Because it is Visheshana, therefore it is Mithya. Namarupa Mithya. Because they are Visheshana, adjectives, sticking to the adjectives cannot exist alone. It has its ashraya, dependency on the substantive. Adjectives do not exist all the time. The pot doesn't exist all the time. The pot was in the form of clay. And clay is, before clay it was particle. Before that it is, so all the way we can go. So therefore, all these are Mithya. So therefore, these Visheshanas attributed to attributed to the Sat that alone exists, that alone exists, that Brahma Sat alone exists. That's why Trikale Tishtati Yat Sat. Sat cannot be destroyed. On that Sat only, all these are Adhyastha, superimposed. Mithya. So, therefore, these because its attributes are Mithya, therefore they can abide in the substance, existence. What about the existence? Can they abide in something? No, because it is Nirvishesha. It is Nirvishesham. Visheshanas have its ashraya in Nirvishesha Sat. Visheshanas are attributes are Mithya. Therefore, they cannot exist alone, but they have its ashraya on Nirvishesha Sat. So, if existence alone is all the way, therefore, existence is, that is Satyam, that is the substantive. All the other words have to be adjectives. But in Vyavahara, what do you say? We say existent pot, existent cloth, existent chair. It's all wrong usage, really. We use it in Vyavahara, we understand what it means. But if you analyze, you are qualifying these, the chair, the pot, etc., as though they are real. By what? By existence. That existence alone, it is there. That poor existence is made an adjective, as though it is something sticking to the Satya chair, Satya pot. If chair is Satyam, pot is Satyam, then it should be there. All the Trikale should be Tishtati, but doesn't. But we make it that as though real. That is what it is our, that is what our problem, that mistake is. But the mistake is so serious that makes one a samsari. So therefore, what is required is viveka. The attributes are mithya and they are adhyastha on this sat, nirvishesha sat, pure sat, the sat which cannot be contaminated. Any amount of this visheshanas, the properties, the attributes can be superimposed on this sat. Sat can never be contaminated. The only one thing which is unadulterated in the world is this Sat. In spite of Jagat being there, it is still unadulterated. That is why pure Shuddha Sat, pure Chaitanyam, Shuddha Chaitanyam, Nitya Mukta, Shuddha Mukta Subhavaha, the Shuddha, the word we use, it is Shuddha, always pure. As it was, it is, it is going to be. Natvevaham Jato Nasam, Natvam Neme Janadipaha. Achevana Bhavishyamaha Sarve Vayamatah Param. It is there all the way. So therefore it is Shuddha. So therefore the Mithya attributes, and here the Mithya attributes are Pancha Mahabhutani. They are going to be separated. So that is what here the author, Vidyaranya Muni, going to do. And Sadeva Saumidam Agre Asit, that Vakya is taken. In that Vakya, there are 8 words. You can count. Sadeva, Soumya, Idam, Agre, Asit, Ekam, Eva, Advitiyam. Ekam, Eva, Advitiyam. This Ekam, Eva, Advitiyam. You can say just Advitiyam. Advitiyam means it is understood. Why Ekam, Eva, Advitiyam? Advitiyam is the non-dual, one. Non-dual is enough. Non-dual means one. What is non-dual? One. Yes, Advitiyam is enough. But Shruti says Ekam Eva Advitiyam. Vidyaranya Muni will later explain. In fact, it's going to be dealt later. But we have seen in some other context. That is, the Ekam, the word is for, the Ekam is the word is for the denying or dismissing the Swagata Bheda. Swagata Bheda. And Eva it is for dismissing Sajatiya Bheda. And Advitiya the word for Vijatiya Bheda. Therefore, Swagata, Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Bheda Ragitaha, Bheda Ragitam, Brahma. Swagata Bheda means the difference, the differences. Swagata, the differences is there in itself, oneself. Like you can take you can take ourselves, the oneself, the human body itself you can take. Later Vidyaranya Muni, there's a shloka, it comes, it takes for instance, the tree. But we can take our sharira, human sharira. Human sharira has got parts. You say I, every time you say I am. What is this I am? Where is this I am? In which part of the shariram? The shariram is it's an assembly, it's an assemblage. Different parts are there. Which part of you is you cannot say. Everything put together is you. That is why it is mithya. So legs are there, thighs are there, stomach is there, hands are there. So within the body there are differences. Within a tree, the tree has got different parts. Roots are there, trunk is there, branches are there, leaves are there, flowers are there. All are different from each other. One is different from the other. Roots are not the trunk. Trunk is not the root. Branches are different from the trunk. Similarly, so that inside, that within there are differences. Every part is different from the other part. This is Swagata Bheda. Brahma, does it have Swagata Bheda? If Brahma has Swagata Bheda, that Brahma becomes a composite one. It is also become an assemblage. Then it cannot be Brahma. Then it cannot be Sat, because it is an assemblage that is put together, is subject to disintegration, because it is put together. So therefore the Swagata Bheda is not there for Brahma, Sat. That is why Eka, the word is Eva. Eva word means Sajatiya Bheda. A tree is there, another tree also is there. A mango tree is there, and there are many mango trees. There is no only one mango tree, many mango trees. Similarly, a coconut tree, many coconut trees. Similarly, this shariram, one human shariram, there are many human shariram, many beings, many human beings are there. So I am different from the other. One tree is different from the other tree. Even though they both are mango trees, but one tree is different of its, in terms of its location. It's located somewhere else. So there's a difference. Desha Kala Bheda Asti. It is different. The parts of that tree is not the parts of this tree. They are different. Therefore, this is Sajatiya Bheda. And Vijatiya Bheda. For Sajatiya Bheda, to dismiss Sajatiya Bheda, the word Eva is there. Ekam Eva. Then Ekam Eva Advitiyam. Advitiyam is Vijatiya Bheda. Mango tree is there. It is not only mango trees are there. There are other trees. Coconut trees are there. Palm trees are there. Papaya trees are there. So many other trees are there. Therefore, within the tree species, there are many trees. Similarly, not only human beings, other beings are also there. Another one, totally different species from me exists. Vijatiya Bheda. All these three Vedas are not there for Brahma. To present that only, Ekam Eva Advitiyam. The Upanishad uses Ekam Eva Advitiyam. Sadeva Somedamagra Asit Ekam Eva Advitiyam. Therefore, all these words, each word, 8 words are there. Every word is going to be dealt with elaborately. Somya. Somya is is addressing the Shishya. O Priyavadana, O pleasant looking one. So that is the Sambodhana. So that will not be discussed. It is the Uddalaka addresses the Shvetaketu, a Somya, O pleasing one. So addressing him, attracting his attention, he started teaching. That is Esomya. Therefore, 8 minus 1, only the 7 words are there. 7 words are going to be commented upon in this chapter, in this Prakaranam. Now let us read the first shloka. Sadadvaitam shrutam yattat
Sadadvaitam shrutam yat
panchabhuta vivekataha
panchabhuta
विवेकतः
bodhum shakyam tato bhuta panchakam pravivichyate.
bodhum
शक्यं
शक्यं
ततो
ततो
भूतपञ्चकं प्रविविच्यते
Simple shloka, you can easily understand. Padacheda, once done, then the Anvaya is formed, the meaning becomes clear. Sat Advaitam. Shrutam is heard. Shravanam Kritam. Shrutya Avagatam. Shrutam is heard. And we say Shrutam is heard not just in the simple meaning of heard. Heard means Shruti, Shastram. Shastrena, Shrutya, Avagatam. That is what Shrutam is. Shrutam is not like that, what we use in the Vyavahara. Shrutam, if you come across the word Shrutam in the text, it means Shrutya Avagatam Ityartaha. Pramanena Avagatam. Shastra Pramanaihi Avagatam. It is understood from the Shastra Pramanam, Shrutya Avagatam. So Shrutam. What is Shrutam? Advaitam Shrutam. Nadvaitam Advaitam. Nanchtat Purusha, Nadvaitam Nalopo Nayaha. Nadvaitam Advaitam. That is Sutra. Nanchtat Purusha. Dvaita Ragitam Ityartaha. Dvaita Ragitam. What is Dvaita Ragitam? Sat. Sat Brahma. Sat Advaitam. Sat Brahma, which is Advaitam, non-dual Sat, non-dual Brahma, Sat, Sadatmaka, Advaitam, Shrutam. So Shastram is a Pramanam for understanding the Advaita Brahma. Otherwise, how will you understand? How will you know it? How will you know Brahma? Is there any means of knowing Brahma? No. Therefore, Shrutya, every word is important. Shrutya Avagatam. Shrutam, it is Shrutam. Yat. So Yat is there, then therefore Tatta also must be there. Yat Tat, that which is. Yat is referring to Brahma. Yat Sat Advaitam Tat Shrutya Avagatam. Yat Sat Advaitam Brahma Shrutam Tat Bodham Shakyam. We have to connect that Bodham Shakyam with Tat. Yat Sat Advaitam Sat Shrutam Tat Bodham Shakyam Avagantum Shakyam. It is possible to know, understand. Avagantum Shakyam Tat Avagantum Shakyam Av Panchabhuta Vivekataha. Panchabhuta Vivekataha. Panchabhuta Panchamahabhuta Vivekena. Panchabhuta Akashadi Bhuta Bhutanam Vivekena Bodhum Avagantum Shakyam. What is Shakyam? this Sat, Brahma, Advaitam Brahma, Yat Shrutam, Tat Bodhum Shakyam. How Panchabhuta Vivekata, by Panchabhuta Viveka, by distinctly knowing, by separating. Here, separating means it's a cognitive separation. You cannot really separate. Pratakkaranam is cognitive separation. So by Vivekat, by Pratakkaranam, by separating the Pancha Mahabhuta from the Sat, Bodhum Shakyam. What Bodhum Shakyam? Sat, Bodhum Shakyam. Removing the Pancha Mahabhuta, extracting the Pancha Mahabhuta from the Sat, we can know Sat. That extraction is cognitive. We cannot really separate. So, therefore, Panchabhuta Vivekena Bodhum Shakyam Avagantum Shakyam Sat. Therefore, Panchabhuta, Bhuta Panchakam, Bhutanam Panchakam. A collection of five is called Panchakam. Panchakam Pravivichyate. Bhuta Panchakam Pravivichyate. This Advaitam Sat, this non-dual, which is non-dual, revealed by the Shruti, Shrutyavagatam Sat, Shrutyavagatam, that is Bodhum Shakyam. Bodhum Shakyam by Panchabhuta Viveka. The word Sat is derived from the Dhatu, As Dhatu. From the As Dhatu. From that only we get Asti Staha Santi. Asti, a sentence. Bu also is Asti only. Bu also Asti. As also Asti. Very important verb, Dhatu. Even if the Kriyapadam is not there, we supply because that exists. One, you can talk about only the existent things. You can never talk about the things which are non-existent. So, anything you say, we supply Bhavati, Asti, because it exists, therefore you talk. So, Kriyapadam not there, then by default we supply Bhavati, Asti, even Vartate, we supply that. So, all these are the same meaning. Now, from the As only, we get the word Sat. Shasoho allopaha by that sutra. Shasoho allopaha. Shatranta rupam of that. What will happen? As plus Shatra, you get Sat. Akara will go away. Therefore, Sat comes. So, Sat. As means to be. As means it is Sattayam. Bhu Sattayam. Similarly, as to be. From that we get the word, Chatranta word, Sat. Present participle. Gataha Sun. We say Gataha Sun. Sun Gataha. We have seen in Bhashyam, Gita. Gataha Sun. The Gata is Gataha Sun. The Sun, San Santo Santaha. In Pullinga it is San Santo Santaha. Strilinga becomes Sati, Satyo Satyaha. And we say Sati Saptami. This is Sun. That is a Sun. Sat. So that is a Sat. Yat Sat Advaitam Shrutam. That is which is heard. Where it is heard? That is why he said it is heard in the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad. 6 to 1. Shrutam. Therefore, Shruti. What Shruti? Chandogya. Even if you have not studied Chandogya, doesn't matter. That Vakyam is enough. That which is heard in the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad. Tat Bodhum Sakyam. It is possible to know. All existence is qualified by the Nama Rupa. Therefore, Nama Rupa can be removed. Nama Rupa can be distinguished, can be extracted, and the Sat as such can be known. So, therefore, Sat as such cannot exist. See, the Sat is recognized only by only with Namarupa. Sat alone doesn't exist. Sat is there in pot. Pot is, cot is, desk is. So that is with Namarupa. If there is no Namarupa, pot is not there, cot is not there, only is there. Is means how will you cognize the is, the isness. So we need a pot, we need a cot to qualify the existence. Therefore, pot exists. Minus pot, you cannot know the pure existence. Therefore, in fact, the pure existence is inferred because of the existence of this mithya attributes. Pure existence not available for your objectification. You can objectify a pot. How will you objectify pure existence? Because it is you. It is with reference to object, you say asti. With reference to yourself, it is asmi. You can objectify objects which are other than you. But what about you? How will you objectify yourself? I cannot objectify myself. We can objectify myself, then I also become an object of myself. Then what is that I that is objectifiable or not? If that is also objectifiable, then another one will be there. So it will be regression. So I, Sat, Atma, Brahma cannot be objectified. So pure existence cannot be objectified. Pure existence is appreciated as Gataha Asti with reference to objects and things. We say Asti Asti. With reference to me, it is appreciated as I am. That am, I am. It is not available for. It is available for knowing as easily we think. Therefore, Shastra has to reveal. Therefore, one is Shrutya Avagatam. It is Bodham Shakyam. It is possible to know with the help of Shastra. Acharya says it is possible to know with the help of Shastra. Without Shastram, not possible. That is why Shastram is important. Yat Shrutam Tat Bodham Shakyam. Tat Bodham Shakyam. Because Shruti. Because of Shruti. So Panchabhuta Vivekataha. Vivekataha. That Vivekataha is Tasil Pratyaya. Pancham Yate Tasil. Tas. One Pratyaya is a Tadita Pratyaya. Tas means Taha. You can add to any word that will give the meaning of Panchami or Tritiya. Tritiya. Panchami or Tritiya. So Panchabhuta Vivekataha means Panchabhuta Vivekat or Panchabhuta Vivekena. So by Panchabhuta Viveka, we can understand this Sat. Not objectifiable. Again, it can be understood. So what prakriya we are doing here is neti, dismissing. Na iti. Then what cannot be objectified, that alone finally will exist. That cannot be dismissed. That alone will remain. That is Sat, that is myself. Atma Brahma iti. So, therefore here the Shastram is a pramanam, and we also use our logic, yukti. But to be noted, an important thing, because we apply our logic, yukti, it doesn't mean this is provable by logic. What Shastram reveals, that is not provable by logic. If it is provable by logic, then what is the need for Shastram? Shastram ceases to be a pramanam. What Shastram reveals, that is supported by logic. Because our mind is logical, generally logical. So we don't believe or accept which is illogical. It has to be logical. Swargaloka is there. Swargaloka is there, logical. It can be. As this loka is there, Swargaloka also is there. That is logical. When this planet is there, there are so many other planets, other galaxies are there. There are also maybe another loka, maybe Earth where people may be living. It is possible, and therefore it is that yukti, that reasoning is acceptable. Swargaloka is that is real if you say. Swargaloka is real. It is real, absolutely real. What I mean real is absolutely real. Then it's a problem. That is, God is there in Swargaloka. From there he operates the Jagat. And that is real. That is illogical. If you say God has a location, particular location, he lives there in Vaikuntha or Kailasha. From there he operates. Then because he has got a location, it means he is confined, limited. So anything limited, how can that be real? It is illogical. So we apply our yukti, reasoning. So to say Swargaloka is there is logical. When you say it is like that of this earth, it's okay, no problem in that, accepting. Why Swargaloka? There can be so many other lokas. That is why we say 14 lokas. These lokas exist, acceptable. But to say that alone is satyam, permanent, that is illogical. So we apply logic. We don't dismiss what Shastram. Shastram says Swargaloka is there, Punyam is there. It is Shastra. It is Shastra being a pramanam. It reveals, and it is not against our logical reasoning. Therefore, logical reasoning, that yukti is a support, not a proof. If it is a proof, then Shastram becomes redundant. That is why anadigata abhadita arthavat jnanajanakam pramanam. So the existence, which is that satya, which is revealed by Shastram, with the help of yukti, we can understand better. So that is what is going to be done. So we will see. We will see the shloka in detail further in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
ధన్యవాదాలు
ధన్యవాదాలు శర్మిషి.